Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Spirit Island. Now, this is the digital adaptation of the popular board game. I admit I don't own the tabletop game because, well, right now it's pretty expensive, 50, 60 bucks, and then there are expansions. You can find the digital version on Steam for about 25 bucks. It's 32% off right now until November 29th. So if you like what you see here, you can get the game for about 17 bucks as opposed to the tabletop version, which is like 50, 60. There's also some DLC for this game as well. There's the Branch and Claw promo pack 1 and original soundtrack. They're also on sale for various amounts. So if you like this game and want to complete your experience, then by all means check that out. Now, this is a game that I actually owned for a couple of years, but it was so overwhelming and I didn't understand it to the point where I just kind of pushed it off, and yeah, it just kind of sat there and it kept staring at me on my virtual wall of shame, as it were. But I eventually dug down, and last night I went through the tutorial. I played like 3 games, and to be honest, I'm still like a newbie, all things considered, but I won all 3 of my games on the easier difficulty setting, of course. And I wanted to show you how the game was played today, and what I thought, maybe take you through a couple of example turns so that you can see what this game is all about. What you're going to be doing in this game is taking on the role of a spirit who is in charge of protecting the inhabitants of this island. Basically, you're up against man, who is just colonizing this island and ravaging it and all this, and that's bad. You don't want this to happen as the spirit. You're trying to protect the island from all of this human takeover. So you're going to be picking a particular spirit, which has a different variety of powers, and you're going to be playing cards and trying to react to things as they happen. Here's a look at the main menu. There's single player, multiplayer, statistics, quick play. Quick play just sort of throws you into it based on your predetermined difficulty setting, whether it be like beginner, moderate, whatever. If you click on new game, you can sort of just customize the experience a bit more. Options menu, just pause if you want to see any of that in greater detail, but there's a 2D view, 3D effect, volume sliders, full screen, and all that jazz. So you can mess with that at your leisure. Let's jump into new game, and I recommend the fairly small map for right now, but the larger you make the map, the more spirits you control. So as a single player, like for example, just if you're just playing on your own, you can control up to 2 different spirits in this, which is, as a new player, it's difficult enough to keep track of my one. So you can totally do this. And with multiplayer, you know, one player can be the one spirit, one player can be the other spirit, that kind of thing. Just for the demonstration purposes, I'll keep this on small and one spirit for right now. Let's see. So this, it doesn't really say what this does. I always pick straightforward in their ways. So there's that. So here's the setup screen. Now, along the top of the screen, you'll find like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spirits or so, but keep in mind some of these were locked behind DLC. I went ahead and picked up the DLC when they were on sale, despite having the core game like 2-3 years ago, but I just picked up the DLC last night. So I have all access to all this stuff, but some of it you won't have access to. By the way, the phone app you can download for free, but it takes you through the first 5 turns of the game, and there's a tutorial. So it's like a how-to-play app, free-to-play app kind of thing. And then you have to either subscribe to it, or you pay 16 or 17 bucks on the app to unlock everything. I've not done that. I have the PC version. But anyway, so you're going to pick one of these spirits, and these spirits range in difficulty and stuff. If I right-click on one of them, it brings up their character sheet and what they do. Along the top of the character sheet are the actions that you take every round, and you'll be using presents, taking them off of your player board here and adding them to the actual map in order to control more areas, and you can play powers within these areas. And as you remove presents from these tracks, the more energy per turn you get, and the more cards you can play on your turn. So the more you play as a spirit, and the more presence you put on the board, the stronger you become overall. And you'll notice that some of these, say like air, moon, any, there are symbols in this game as well that your cards generate. And your creature, your spirit, has innate or inherent abilities that can be activated, but only if you play cards and have the icons that you need. So, for example, this innate powers in the bottom middle, it says 2 moon and 2 purple, whatever that is. Probably, I don't know what that is. Anyway, if I had 2 of the white moon icons and 2 of the purple icons during that round as I was playing cards, plus any free icons I get from spending presence and unlocking that on the track, I can do those things on that round. The Night Terrors, same thing. If I had 1 moon and 1 purple, then I generate 1 fear, which I'll explain later. But long story short, you're going to spend presence on your player board, put them on the map, you unlock more things, you can play more cards, get more energy per turn so you can play better cards, that kind of thing. But yeah, each of these spirits has a different ability, and the whole crux of the game really is getting used to these things. This particular character has a high complexity, very low offense, has a little bit of control, but a lot of fear. You win the game if you scare the invaders off the island, which I did. I just played this spirit and I won. It was a close one, but I won. But it's because I generated so much fear so quickly that at the last second I scared them off the island before they could win. There's a defense and utility attribute as well. And then if we jump into a different one, for example, Heart of the Wildfire, you can see they've got different actions on the very top. They have a slightly different track for presence. They have different abilities. And if I flip this one over, this is also a high complexity character that focuses more on offense. And each one sets up differently too. So yeah, it's just... what excites me about this game is, depending on the spirit you play, your strategy is going to be vastly different than the other ones, and that's what I'm excited about. Like I want to play as all these characters just to see what playstyle I like the best. So I beat the game as, was it this one, Oceans? No, it was not Oceans. I beat the game as this one, River Surges in Sunlight. I beat the game as this one, and that was a low complexity, high offense, control, utility, but low fear and defense. And then I beat the game with this Shark Fangs. I think that's part of the DLC. You can actually take 2 of these actions on the top every round, just not the same ones. And you can see they have different tracks, and it's again, it depends on who you pick here. But anyway, let's go ahead and do, I think, River Surges in Sunlight for the sake of this tutorial / review. And you can see what kind of cards that you start with. Now, you'll notice on these cards, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a cost. That's an energy cost. So some cards only spend 0 energy to play, others 1, 2, whatever. So that's why you need energy every turn to play some of these cards. This one's free, but this one here costs 1 to play. The icons on the left that you see contribute toward those abilities I was talking about earlier. So you will generate different icons depending on the cards that you play. And if you generate the right kinds of icons, and enough of them, then you can make your abilities very powerful. There's also 2 different phases in which you play these cards. One of them is a fast card, and one of them is a slow card. The turtle here under speed is the slow, meaning that the enemy, the invaders, will do something and then you can play this card. Whereas if you have the fast bird, then you play that before the invaders get to do something. So there's also some strategy there too. Do you want to let them do their thing and then you play the slow cards after they're done? But these abilities tend to be more powerful. The range and any land, some of these cards are specific to a particular land. Here's an example of a red card that operates before the invaders do. So there's that. Show spirit, there we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick them. You can choose your map loadout, or you can add things if you want. I don't think I'm going to do that though. Balanced map. I just want to get rid of this. There we go. Okay, there we go. So we'll do, yeah, river surges and sunlight, and I think I got it. I'm pretty sure. Difficulty. Now, truth be told, I'm playing on the easiest difficulty possible, and even still, I find this somewhat overwhelming. Apparently, there's a blight card that gets introduced to the game as well, and the more blight you have, the worse things get, and I guess the blight card does something extra bad, but I have that turned off. You can still lose the game by having too much blight, and that's when humans destroy the land, kind of thing. You can get an extra action at the beginning of the game. That's what bonus spirit growth is all about. Invaders do not explore at the end of setup, so it delays them doing things. Also, unlimited undo, which is nice. Highly recommend that if you're new to the interface and keep messing up like I do. Branching Claw is part of that DLC that I was talking about, and you can include those cards if you want. There's also an events thing that you can activate, but for right now, I'm just turning all of these on and the expansion stuff off. You can also choose a scenario. I have not done any of that yet, but you can do it if you want. Also, you can choose an adversary. Again, I've never done that. The adversary, I guess, just makes the invaders more powerful in a particular way, but don't quote me on it. Right now, I'm just having fun with the standard stuff. All right, let's go ahead and hit go. And let's see if I can show you around for a couple of turns. Okay. So, in the upper left-hand corner is my hand. I have cards that I start with, and these were the ones I showed you earlier. So that's my hand. Below that are all the icons of the cards that I've played, and that's important because in the middle of the screen is my spirit, and on the bottom it says N8 Powers Massive Flooding. With the yellow and blue icons, I can push enemies around and get them off of areas that I want them off of. And that's important for reasons I'll show you later. Your also presence in wetlands counts as a double. So certain cards, like this one, it says speed, like the N8 power says speed turtle, so you activate this during like the second card play. Range is a double presence, so 2 presence tokens on top of each other. But in the wetlands, 1 counts as 2, which is one of my special abilities there. I can target any land for that. And the more icons I have, yellow and blue, the stronger this ability becomes. So I can do damage, possibly. Damage is important. That just destroys towns and scouts and the like. All right. Upper right-hand corner are my actions that I can take. I can pick one of these. So reclaiming cards. Whenever you play a card, it goes to your discard pile, and you eventually will be out of cards to play. So you have to click that one to reclaim all the cards in your discard pile. You also get to draw a new power card. There are minor and major cards on the bottom there. Minor, see, view deck. These are all the different minor cards that you can play, and then major cards. There's 20 of those. These are more expensive cards, but they're also more powerful. Whenever you learn a major card or draw a major card, you have to forget another card by just eliminating it. So it's gone. Gain an energy. On the upper middle, you've got like +1, which is how much energy you're getting every turn. The 0 is how much energy I have to play for my cards, discard pile, and so on. Add a presence is just add presence to the board. Right now, I have on the very bottom left, I've got a double presence here on this wetlands section. The little white circles or tan beige circles, those are the inhabitants. They will fight, but they also can die. So depending on the round phase, they will fight back against the invaders, but they do 2 damage per thing per inhabitant or per I guess per native token, but they can die. The little bubbly tar looking thing, that's bad. That is what we're trying to avoid. That's that blight that I was talking about earlier. There's no blight cards, so I don't have to worry about extra bad things, but if enough of these blight come out, then I lose. So I'm trying to get rid of blight. And blight happens when the invaders activate on an area and attack it. And if they do enough damage to that area, then blight happens. So we don't want that. On the bottom left is an undo button in the menu. Bottom, you've also got like the number of blight out there. Fear. Now, fear is an interesting mechanic. This is one of the ways you can win the game. So there's multiple tiers of fear. The more you do to the enemy, the invaders, the more afraid they become and the more powerful you become. You automatically win the game if you can get them scared enough to where you've gone through this entire deck of fear cards. To draw a new fear card to use for that round, you have to get 4 fear added to them. Destroying towns on them, like these little white towns here, these larger cities, destroying those will generate fear. Other card effects will generate fear, and again, get enough fear to break that 4 threshold, and a new card comes out. Now you'll see that there's a 2 and a 3, and these fear cards have a 1, 2, and 3 on them. So when you're at fear 3, for example, you'll follow the action of the 3rd fear effect rather than the first one, and that's definitely more powerful. So the more fear you generate, the more powerful these fear cards become. Bottom right, at least in the bottom middle right, this is the Invaders action track, as it were. So they have a certain number of cards in this deck, and when they run out, they win automatically. So we have to beat them before they go through all of their cards or before we get enough blight. So what's going to happen is a new card will pop up and they'll explore. That card will list one of the 4 biomes on the island. The light blue is wetlands up here. The black area is mountainous. The yellow is sand/desert, and the forest area is the green here. So this explore card will list one of those 4 biomes, and automatically scouts, human figurines will pop up from these towns and explore them. When they're there, the card will shift over to the build column, and on the next round, that biome, anything on a biome there will build. So if you don't get rid of that scout or explorer or any buildings that are there during the build part, then they will start constructing towns and cities. And then that card moves over to the Ravage phase, which then they'll attack that biome. So you have to prevent these, you have to maneuver these bad guys around, these invaders, so that they're not on the biomes that you want them to be on, if that makes any sense. So let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. I'm going to, for the first thing, click a growth group to use it. I'm going to go ahead and add some presence. So I'm going to take one of these tokens off one of these 2 tracks. Again, the more I do this, the more powerful I become. Right now I'm generating 1 energy per turn, but when I grab this one, I'm going to make 2 energy per turn. I'm going to go ahead and put that, let's see here. I've got presence down there. Where can I put that? I have to put that adjacent to an existing one. I guess I'll put that here. And I have to add a second presence. So maybe I'll put that here in the middle. Okay, so I get a bonus growth action, which is another action because of the difficulty settings. Otherwise, I wouldn't normally be able to do this. I can add more presence. I can gain a power card. I'm going to go ahead and add more presence, I think. I just think that's going to be the best thing to do. I'm going to add 1 to the wetlands up here, which will count as 2 for me. And I'm going to add, that's going to get 3 energy per turn. I'm going to do this one, which is going to be 2 cards per turn. So maybe I might want to put that over here. Sure. Okay. And don't take notes as far as strategy is concerned. I'm still trying to figure all that out. Okay, so this is the part now where I get to play cards. And I can play a number of cards based on my track. So right now I've played enough presence to play 2 cards on my turn. But again, I'm also limited by energy. I'm generating 3 energy per turn, and I can play a total of 2 cards. So I could play any card, really. Any 2 of these 4 cards. Again, I'm looking to play yellow and blue cards because of my massive flooding ability. So maybe, what is flash floods? 1 damage. If target land is coastal, deal an additional damage. Well, unfortunately, I think these towns have 3 hit points, so that's still not enough to kill it. River's Bounty. Gather up to 2 people. If there are now at least 2... Okay, that's definitely what I'm going to want. That adds more inhabitants to the board. If you lose all of your inhabitants, then you lose. So you're trying to keep them alive. So that's 1 I'll play. And wash away. Push up to 3. I might want to push this one away from this biome. So I might play that. But I kind of want to wait and see where he's going to go, too. 1 damage if... Okay, so here's the thing. What if I did this? No, see, these red cards play first. What I was going to do was play Wash Away and wash this town over here, and then play this red card to do damage to it and destroy it, because it's coastal. Coastal, the only thing that is coastal on this map is anything next to this dark blue water. So this wetlands, this forest, and this wetlands, those are all coastal. Even though it looks like the rest of these is surrounded by water, these are all considered inland, which is weird, I know. That confused me at first, too. But anyway, if you target your... Okay, so Boon of Vigor. If you target yourself, gain 1 energy. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play that one. Okay, so... Yeah, that's it. So I've played enough yellow and blue symbols to activate the first one, which is push 1 scout or building. So I can do that at some point, but during the slow phase. So I'm going to hit finish playing cards. Now I can play any red cards or powers that I have. I only have the 1 here. Target yourself, gain 1 energy. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and gain an energy. Now the invaders will explore. They're going to draw a card, and that was a jungle card. So now these explorers will spawn from these towns and move themselves to a jungle area. Now, in the next round, you'll note that the jungle is under the build column. That means in the next round, left unopposed, these explorers or any buildings here will generate a new building, which is bad. We don't want them. So we have to find a way to get them off the jungle tiles before the next round. Now, I'm in the slow phase, so I'm going to activate some of these. So, River's Bounty, gather up to 2 indigenous people. If there are at least 2 now, add 1 new person. So, I might want to start bringing them here, or how am I going to do it? Maybe... I think I'm going to focus my efforts here. So I'm going to play that. I have to play this on... Oh, somewhere where I've got influence, not right-click. Let's undo that. Okay, so where am I going to... I'm maybe over here then. So I can move this one to the right and generate more there. I have no influence here, no influence here. So, yeah, I'll do this. Yep. And I'm going to move 1 from here. And I can finish gathering. Now, it says here, if there are at least two indigenous people on that location, which there's already 2, I get to add 1 and gain an energy. So I'm going to finish that. A new one will spawn, and I'll gain another energy. Okay. So I'm sort of surrounding that town. I also have this ability here. I've generated at least 1 yellow and 2 blue. On the left-hand side, you can see I've generated 2 yellow and 2 blue. Had I generated 1 more blue, I would have been able to do the second one, which is do 2 damage and push up to 3, but I didn't get that far. I am going to use this. Oh, I have to do this. Okay, I can't do it here. I have to do it next to a location. Okay, that's what this double influence in 1 means. I have to use this ability on or 1 space away from a location with a double token on it. I can't do anything down here because I don't have any influence, a double influence nearby. But I do have a double influence here, double influence here. So I can totally do that here. So I could activate this and push this. Not what I wanted. Undo. Oh, guess I can't undo that, can I? There we go. I guess I have to push. I was trying to push this. That's weird. There we go. Push that, and I want to move this one, I guess, down here. Maybe up here? No, I'd rather keep them... Yeah, I'm going to separate them, like so. Alright, there we go. So now a new round has occurred, and I need to find a way to get these things taken care of. But first I get to use more abilities. Now, I've got the ability to play 2 cards. I've got 2 cards in my hand. 1 damage. If the land is coastal, deal an additional damage. So I could use that. 1 away from any influence I have. Okay, so I could take out this one here. But what about this one? Wash away. Push up to 3. We'll see if that works. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I think I may want to add more presence. So, yeah, I'm going to add more presence. I want to do this there. And, oops. And that way I can play 3 cards on my turn. And I'll add 1 over here. Like so. And now I only have 2 cards, so I'll just play those and finish playing. Alright, so now the fast phase occurs. So I can only play this one. 1 damage. Now, I'd love to take this out, but I don't think I have... This thing is like 3 health, I think it is. So, it's not going to kill it. So I'm going to have to use it here and knock this one out. That prevents it from building that turn. But it will build over here because there's still a town over there. But that was it. So what's going to happen now, they're exploring a new biome. It looks like the mountain area. And they're going to explore that as well. And now my slow phase, wash away. So, according to this, they are now going to ravage in the jungle and build on the mountainous areas. So, now I have to figure out a way to stop them from ravaging this to the left and stop them from building over here. Push 1. I might just push this guy back down here. So, yeah, I'm going to push this one down here to prevent him from building a new section there. And then this one is push up to 3. I wonder if I can push... I cannot push this large building either, which kind of sucks. So that means I should probably... Let's undo that. I'm going to push this guy to this area down here. So now all of my mountain areas are safe. They're not going to build there because they have no one there. But they will still ravage this on this upcoming round if I don't do something about it. And I have no cards, so I need to reclaim all of my cards, gain a power card, and gain 1 energy. And I just drew a new card. If invaders are present, 1 fear. That's the fear I was talking about. You can generate fear via some of these cards. I need to have a double... It has to be on a location with a double influence or 1 space around a double influence. But I need to get these off here. That's going to be my main goal. But they're going to attack. I've got to use these fast cards. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be possible. It's not going to be... I just can't do it. 1 damage, I could probably kill this, but I'm not going to be able to kill this. That's unfortunate. So I could play this one. This just gives me energy. So maybe I'll play something else. Gather up to 2. I think I'm going to play that one. If invaders are present, 1 fear. If target land is a sand or wetland, remove 1. Okay, I'm going to save that in case I need it, but I don't need that right now. Push 3. Okay, I'm going to play that too, I think. Although, do I really need to push them at this point? I kind of want to push these guys down here. Like, everything in the bottom left-hand corner. Where do I save this for later? You know what? Maybe it'll be useful later. I'm not sure. Invaders are present. This uncanny melting is not going to help me now. Yeah, see, if I guess it would just generate fear, is all it would do. So I'll go ahead and, I'll go ahead and play it anyway. I guess another thing to look at are the symbols. The fact that it had a yellow and a blue is good for me, because now I can, instead, 2 damage, push up to 3. Okay, so I'll be able to use that during the slow phase to do more damage. I'm going to finish playing cards, and now I can play this 1 red card. 1 damage, if target land is coastal, plus 1 damage. So I'm going to just do this to get 2 damage in there. And now I'm going to attack this, and that destroys it. However, because there's still a building there, he's going to attack that land. If he does enough damage, then my indigenous people die, and I lose my influence. Yeah, it's just bad. So that was a really bad part there. I'm going to have to try and find a way to fix that. He looks like he's going to explore the sandy areas now. Okay. Now the slow phase. Click and drag a power to use it. Gather up to 2. I think I'm going to want to start focusing heavily, like just... It looks like you're going to ravage mountains next turn, which I have no one on... They have no one on mountains, so I'm fine there. I may want to try and bring these guys down here. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. So River's Bounty. Gather up to 2. So I can't play that there because I don't have influence there. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to bring these 2 down here, and they'll sort of populate. And I'll bring them down somewhere else on a future turn. And then this one is just, if invaders are present, just gain a fear. So I guess we'll do that one there. And it will remove a blight, but only if it's a wetland or sand, which I've got blight everywhere else but there. I'm just going to do it there. I'll generate a fear. And now this massive flooding. Instead, 2 damage, push up to 3. Okay, so maybe I can do some damage here and push these guys off. So what if I played this here? Do that. And I can do, what, 2 damage? So I'll kill that for the fear. And I'll push these guys. If I go to the mountain area, that would they would actually ravage that, but each of my indigenous people here have 2 health. So what I could do is I could push them over here to the left, and one would die, but then the others would kill them. I'd hate to do that, but I could push them down here into the green, but they could cause problems. You know what? I'm going to sacrifice one of the indigenous people, and they'll just sort of fight each other there. All right, so we're back here to the ravage, or to the new round, and they're going to ravage the mountains this round. If I just leave them here, these guys will duke it out. These scouts will do 1 damage. These guys do 2 each. They're going to build on the sandy area. So I need to get these guys off of there somehow. I might reclaim cards again so that I can get more options, because I can play 3 cards. Now, I did say this was going to be a review, so maybe I'll go ahead and leave it at this, at half an hour of a review. I apologize for that, but I feel like this is necessary. I will, just because, like, this game is really overwhelming and confusing, but I'm hoping that these last couple of rounds, you kind of see the flow of where this is going. And my spirit here focuses a lot on area control. Moving them around, preventing them from doing things. Whereas the other ones, one might be attacking, one might be defense, one might be, you know, it depends on who you pick. So I really like this game. It's a shame that I was kind of scared of it 2-3 years ago and didn't learn it, but now that I'm learning it and playing it, I'm really enjoying it. And it does have multiplayer, like I said. so you could play this with other people as well, if you're new to it and want to sort of experience the game with others as you go. But yeah, there you go. That was Spirit Island, the digital version of it. Hopefully this review/tutorial helped you. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care.